What if I told you that the biggest battles you'll ever face won't happen in boardrooms, classrooms, or battlefields, but inside your own mind? Imagine living in a world where small, invisible shifts in your thinking could completely change the way people see you, treat you, and even how much success you achieve. Sounds like science fiction, right? But here's the truth. Psychology is the hidden playbook of life. And the people who know these secrets, whether it's leaders, marketers, or everyday individuals, hold an almost unfair advantage over everyone else. If you've ever wondered why some people always seem to win while others stay stuck, you're about to discover why. Secret number 1. The power of framing. Have you ever noticed how the exact same situation can feel completely different depending on how it's presented? This is called framing. Imagine you're in a hospital and a doctor tells you, "This surgery has a 90% survival rate." You'd probably feel pretty hopeful. But if the doctor instead says, "This surgery has a 10% death rate," suddenly, the exact same information feels terrifying. That's the power of framing. Our brains are wired to respond emotionally to context. In everyday life, the way you frame your words, decisions, and even your self-talk determines how people react. Instead of saying, "I failed this test," you could frame it as, "I found out where I need to improve." The content is the same, but the impact on your confidence is completely different. Leaders, advertisers, and politicians use framing every single day to influence choices. And here's the twist. You can use it too. Next time you're presenting an idea, negotiating a deal, or even motivating yourself, think about the frame. Are you highlighting the danger, or the opportunity, the loss or the gain? Change the frame, and you change the game. Secret 2. The halo effect. We humans judge books by their covers. Literally, the halo effect is when one positive trait, like attractiveness or confidence, makes us assume someone has many other good traits too. Think about job interviews. A confident candidate walks in, well-dressed and smiling. Instantly, the interviewer assumes they're competent, reliable, and smart, even if their resume is weak. Meanwhile, someone equally talented but less polished may never stand a chance. This effect extends everywhere. Celebrities endorsing products, politicians winning votes, even students graded higher just because they look neat. Our brains are lazy, so we generalize. If they're good at one thing, they must be good at everything. You can use this to your advantage by focusing on first impressions. How you present yourself, clothing, posture, tone of voice, creates a ripple effect that influences how people see your entire personality. At the same time, be cautious when others charm you. Ask, "Am I admiring this person's skill or just their style?" The halo effect shows us that perception often beats reality. Sometimes, winning is less about who you are and more about how you appear. Secret 3. Social proof and herd mentality. Why do people line up outside a restaurant when there are empty ones nearby? Why do we scroll through endless reviews before buying something? It's because of social proof, our brain's shortcut that says, if many people are doing it, it must be good. Social proof is why influencers hold so much power. When we see thousands of people liking a post or wearing a trend, we feel pressure to join in. Even experiments have shown that people will purposely give wrong answers if everyone else in the group does. It's the herd mentality at work. This can be dangerous. Crowds can normalize toxic behavior, false beliefs, or even dangerous movements. But it can also be used positively. Want to persuade someone? Show them others already agree. Want to build trust in your work? Highlight testimonials and success stories. The truth is, we rarely think independently. Social proof shapes what we buy, what we believe, and who we become. The trick is to recognize it and ask, do I actually want this, or am I just following the herd? Secret 4. The scarcity principle. Only 3 items left in stock. Limited time offer. You've seen these messages before. That's scarcity psychology at work. The less available something seems, the more valuable we believe it is. Why? Because our brains equate rarity with worth. If everyone can have it, we assume it's not special. But if it's limited, we feel urgency and fear missing out. This is why luxury brands thrive, why event tickets sell out in minutes, and why people rush to buy products during flash sales. In relationships, scarcity shows up too. People often value others more when they play hard to get. When attention is scarce, it feels more rewarding. Here's how to use this principle. Instead of offering unlimited access, create exclusivity. Limit opportunities, and people will line up for them. But also protect yourself. When you see limited time deals, pause and think. Do I really want this, or am I being manipulated by scarcity? Scarcity is one of the strongest motivators in human psychology. Knowing how it works lets you either resist it or use it to your advantage. Secret 5. The power of anchoring. Imagine this. You're buying a car. The salesperson first shows you a high-end model for $70,000. Then they take you to a cheaper one for $40,000. Suddenly, $40,000 feels like a bargain, even though it's still expensive. That's the anchoring effect. Anchoring happens when the first number or piece of information we see becomes the reference point for all future decisions. This isn't just in sales, it's everywhere. In salary negotiations, the first number thrown on the table often shapes the entire outcome. In everyday life, our brains latch onto the first impression and resist adjusting too much. The key is awareness. Don't let others set your anchor. Do your research, set your own reference point, and challenge the first number you hear. At the same time, you can use anchoring to influence others by strategically presenting information in the right order. Anchoring reminds us that numbers aren't neutral. The first figure we hear isn't always the truth. It's just the anchor pulling us in. Secret 6. Cognitive dissonance. Humans hate being inconsistent. When our actions don't match our beliefs, we experience cognitive dissonance, a mental discomfort that forces us to justify, twist, or even change our beliefs. For example, a smoker who knows smoking is harmful might say, "It helps me relax, so it's worth it." Or someone who buys an expensive product might convince themselves it's higher quality to avoid regret. This principle explains why people defend bad relationships, stick with poor choices, or double down on mistakes. Our brain would rather rewrite reality than admit we were wrong. But here's the secret. You can use cognitive dissonance for self-improvement. By committing publicly to a goal, your brain will want to stay consistent with that image. Tell people you're working out, and you'll feel pressure to follow through. Understanding this principle gives you power. Instead of letting dissonance trick you, you can harness it to create real change. Secret 7. The illusion of control. Humans crave control. Even when we don't have it, we like to believe we do. This is called the illusion of control. Gamblers rolling dice harder for better luck. People thinking they influence lottery outcomes. Employees believing they control outcomes in workplaces that are fully structured. These illusions comfort us, but they can also blind us. Marketers and leaders exploit this by giving choices that aren't real. Ever notice how apps let you choose between 2 subscription plans, both leading you to pay? That's illusion of control. Here's the twist. Having even a small sense of control improves motivation and happiness. That's why parents give kids choices like, "Do you want broccoli or carrots?" Either way, the parent wins, but the child feels empowered. Recognize this illusion. Ask yourself, am I actually in control, or just being guided to feel like I am? Once you see through it, you stop playing other people's games and start creating your own. Secret 8. The spotlight effect. Ever walk into a room and feel like everyone is watching you? Chances are, they're not. That's the spotlight effect. The belief that others notice us far more than they actually do. This effect makes us self-conscious, stopping us from speaking up, trying new things, or taking risks. We fear judgment. But the truth is, people are too busy thinking about themselves to focus on us. Psychologists prove this by asking students to wear embarrassing shirts on campus. Most thought everyone would notice, but in reality, almost no one did. The takeaway: stop living as if you're under constant scrutiny. You're not. Free yourself from imagined judgment, and suddenly, you'll take risks others avoid. And in doing so, you'll stand out for real. Secret 9. The Pygmalion effect. What if I told you that other people's expectations could literally shape your performance? That's the Pygmalion effect. In studies, teachers who were told certain students were gifted, even though they weren't, treated them differently. Those students actually ended up performing better, simply because they were expected to. Expectations became reality. This happens everywhere. When leaders believe in their teams, employees thrive. When parents set high expectations, kids rise to meet them. On the flip side, low expectations can crush potential. Here's the powerful part. You can use this on yourself. Set high standards. Believe you can improve. The brain has a way of rising to meet belief. And when others underestimate you, use it as fuel to exceed their expectations. The Pygmalion effect shows us that belief isn't just mental, it's transformational. These 9 secrets prove one thing. Human psychology isn't just something that happens inside our minds. It's the invisible force shaping every decision, every relationship, and every success or failure we experience. The scary part? Most people never notice it. They live on autopilot, pulled by reciprocity, fooled by the halo effect, trapped by social proof, and manipulated by scarcity. But now, you see the game. The question is, will you use these secrets to protect yourself or to influence others? Imagine how different your life could be if you stopped falling for mind games and started playing them wisely. Whether it's in business, relationships, or self-growth, the person who understands psychology always has the upper hand. Now, here's your challenge. Pick just one of these secrets and apply it today. Maybe you'll use reciprocity to build stronger connections. Maybe you'll free yourself from the spotlight effect and finally speak your mind. Or maybe you'll harness the Pygmalion effect by setting higher expectations for yourself. Because knowledge is power, but only if you use it. If you found these insights eye-opening, make sure to like this video, subscribe for more, and share it with someone who needs to see the hidden truths behind human behavior. And remember, the biggest mind game of all is the one you play with yourself. Master that, and you can change everything.